time for Ink the Book Show with your host, Ryan O'Connor. And now, let's ink the book. Hi everyone, it's me, Uncle Ryan. We're drawing page something. We're inking page something. Page 91 of my first graphic novel, Bonehead, wherein Bonehead gets onto an elevator and Mort turns and sees this jerk coworker of theirs, seeing them sneaking back into the building. Okay. Let's get to drawing. Yeah. Okay. I already am inked up. I thought it wasn't gonna ink. I was like, I spoke too soon. Here we go. This is my Winsor Newton Series 7 Sable Kolinsky brush. Size number 3. I knew that. I don't know why I had to look. I'm using Speedball brand India ink. I'm drawing on Canson comic book art boards. Um, 11 by 17 art boards. I'm wearing a shirt that was a Christmas gift from Target. And under that, another shirt that was a Christmas gift that, here, my roommate gave me this shirt that says, I hate bottles on it. Sorry. Which is a reference to a specific Futurama episode. Wherein Zoidberg, I believe, he breaks, I think it's a ship in a bottle thing that the professor forbids him from touching. And then when he gets a chance, he goes and touches it, and it breaks. And then he goes, "What would the robot do?" And then, frame somebody. And then he decides to frame Fry, and he writes on his shirt, "I hate bottles." Yeah. Downstairs, you can probably hear my roommates are watching sports. Is it football? I don't know. I think so. But I thought football was over. I don't know. Excuse me. Pardon. So, what would the robot do? There's another point in Futurama where, what is it? Bender says, "Hey, Fry, want to go looting?" He goes, "Well, okay, if you think it's right." Like, why are these characters referring to Bender as a moral compass? I didn't invite anybody. No one's been coming in anyway. I've been trying to export this for my brother Liam. I've been trying to export this this video I made with a song of his for a podcast we're trying to kind of start, I guess. And for some reason, every time I try to export it, it gives me problems. What in the world is going on downstairs? Yeah, that's my problem. It's like I can do things, I can make things, but I need time to do it, and I need the technology to get out of my way. Because I know how to export videos in After Effects. I know how to make videos, but the technical difficulties, which I don't think are on my end necessarily half the time, it's like outlandish. It's maddening. Last night, after I did yesterday's page, I went to my parents' house. My brother and his fiance and their 3 kids were there. My let's see, my sister Tara, my brother Liam. Was it just them? Yeah, I think so. But we were all hanging out and and Liam's beloved Josie. We were all hanging out and playing a bit of Mario Kart, and we were playing Quiplash, which I was talking about here yesterday. And there was pizza, and there were taquitos, and there were beers and whiskey, vanilla flavored whiskey, and it was a wonderful time. And there was, I had some fun music from the 60s playing. Oh, my nephews, they're all fans of Michael Jackson now. There was a while back, my for some reason, my mom had put on Billie Jean by Michael Jackson a while back. Like just the music video. I don't think it was the music video. I think it was like a live performance where he's dancing on stage. And my one nephew, my 3-year-old nephew, he was just like mesmerized by it. And he was just like watching and like he was kind of like inadvertent, like not paying attention, but or not realizing he was doing it maybe, but he was like dancing, like tapping his foot, and then he'd kind of like be trying to like mimic him, but he was like fascinated with Michael Jackson. And now he goes, they like ask my parents to put on Michael Jackson and stuff, and then somebody goes, "Were you dancing?" He's like, "Yeah, I was dancing like Michael Jackson." Okay. Went to church this morning. And I happen to see like I don't always, but I was seeing a bunch of people I know around town there today. I went later than I usually do. Because I woke up a little later than I meant to. What with all the beer, the aforementioned beer and whiskey. Oh, and then also there were about 3 inches of snow today on top of my car and on the ground. So that was nice. Yeah, it's starting to feel more like winter. I think we're supposed to get more snow by tomorrow morning. Yeah. Tonight it's going to be snowing. There we go. So here's the thing. For a while, I thought this was going to be this YouTube show that I'm doing, this Twitch show that I'm doing. For a while, I thought I was going to be able to get like one of my art friends on here with me, or one of my buddies, or one of my siblings on here. Like just about every show, and just talk to them about art. And but everybody's afraid to come on camera. It's like, come on. I was afraid to come on camera, and now I do it every day. For, let's see, August, September, October, November, December, into January. We're getting toward the end of January. So 6 months. 6 months I've been doing this. It's not scary. Don't be afraid of things. That's what I say. I try not to let myself be afraid of stuff. It's not helpful. I mean, it can be helpful, like no, it's probably a bad idea to jump out of an airplane without a parachute. I am afraid to do that. But I guess there's a time and place for fear. And you know, you gotta flex your brave muscles and push through when you're scared. I think right now in culture, I think we're all a little uncomfortable being brave. We don't like to go outside our comfort zones. And I say, screw that. Get out of your comfort zone. No one ever surprised themselves in their comfort zone. No one ever, I don't know. I'm just. So come on my show, people. Get your camera on. And come talk to me about art. There's no. Ain't nothing bad gonna happen. Let's see. I was wrong. My brother turned 26, not 24. So he's now the age that my dad was when he had me. And he's going to have kid number 4 by the time my dad had kid 1. beef up these lines a little bit to make the characters pop. Oh man, today after I got out of church, I went to put on Spotify and I saw, it tells you like an artist you like got a new release out. I saw that this artist. So I've got a story about this artist too. This artist Betty Boo is putting out a new. She put out a new release, a new single yesterday called "Get Me to the Weekend," and I was so excited because I know she's only got 2 proper albums, Boo Mania and Grr, It's Betty Boo. And the first one came out in 1990, and then the second one came out in 1992. So this is her first release in 30 years on the dot. And I guess she's working on 2 new albums. I am so excited. Now let me tell you about how I discovered Betty Boo. She's an English, what would you call it? It's like kind of like hip hoppy. I don't know. It's not quite hip hop, but it's like what would you call it? Let's see, Betty Boo. Whoosh. It calls her a pop rap artist. I don't know that I would call it rap, but she's wonderful. So this was about 2010. No, it was 2011. I just remembered because I had I would put it in my car when I was driving to school. Me and my buddy, my current roommate, Tyler, we popped into a thrift store. We would just go thrift store shopping once in a while, look for whatever we might find, and I don't think we went there with any agenda or anything, but it was like I think I just grabbed some random knickknacks, and then I like right before we were checking out, I happened to see a little cassette tape. I'll go get it. And I don't know, it just caught my attention. I was like, I don't know what it is, but I want to like it. So I just grabbed it. I was like, I have a tape player in my car. And I was always, at that point, I was always looking for new music to listen to. Because I'm really like obsessed with music. But a lot of the stuff I like is like stuff no one really knows generally. It's got 10 songs on it, and I love them all. I put it in my car and just fell in love with it right away. But we on the way home, me and my buddy Tyler were we popped it into my car, and I guess we put on side 2. And the second song on side 2 is "Gave You the Boo," and we just loved that song. But I love the whole dang album, and I haven't heard her other album, Boo Mania, straight through. I don't think. Maybe I have, but I don't remember it as much, just because I've listened to this one so much more. But whenever I hear any of her music, it's just fun to me. It's really exciting. This one has. It's like she's got some samples. It kind of reminded, like when I first got it, it kind of reminded me of Soul Coughing in a lot of ways, which is one of my favorite bands. And I feel like when I grabbed it, I was hoping for something like exactly what it was. Something about it just like it just reminds me of Soul Coughing, this cover. And the music kind of did too. It's definitely a different kind of thing, but it reminds me of that. It's got all the lyrics in here. I don't have too many tapes, but I haven't come across too many that have like the full fold out lyric sheet. It's like this is like a proper album tape artwork. There's somewhere on here, which song is it? I think it's the first song, "On My Way." Yeah. The first song has like samples of the sax from Lady Madonna by the Beatles. I don't know if it's a direct. Maybe it's not. It might not be from the recording specifically. It might be, because like I say, she does do samples of stuff. But they might be recreating it too. But I am really excited that she's doing new music. So that's my artist recommendation for today. And go check out on Spotify or YouTube or something. Check out her new single called "Get Me to the Weekend." Which I was listening to an interview. Oh, and she just sounds so great on it. But I was listening to an interview where I guess she stopped doing like her solo career when her mother died of cancer in '95, and and she's been producing tracks for like girl pop bands, I guess, over the past 30 years. And I don't know, she's been working in the music industry all this time, but not doing like solo releases and stuff. But yeah. She was just a weird like an, and I guess she was big in England for her hit "Doing the Do" off of Boomania. And I guess the guy who put together, he kind of put together the Spice Girls. He was like, yeah, I what I had in mind was like I just wanted 5 Betty Boos, and I don't know. She was like, he kind of said it in a couple different ways, where the Spice Girls, the idea was behind the Spice Girls was kind of inspired by Betty Boo. It's just fun music to me. Yeah, I'm on my way. Thing going on. Hangover, curly and girly. Wish you were here. Let me take you there. Gave you the boo. Skin tight. Catch me. Close the door. I love this album. And I guess in 2020, she put out an expanded version with 10 more tracks. And it's a bunch of remixes, including remixes of a couple songs that aren't on here or her other release. So I'm not sure what those are. I just noticed that on Spotify today, but I haven't checked that out. I don't think, but I'm excited for her. She was saying the new single "Get Me to the Weekend" was kind of inspired by the pandemic, where it was like everybody's kind of trapped from going out and having a good weekend, is what it felt like, I guess. And she wrote it. But yeah. And then she was like, I'm about to turn 50. Maybe she turned 50. And she's like, I think it got her kind of like antsy to do some new stuff. It's kind of like with Bonehead. I turned 30 and it got me like antsy to make my animated pilot and to make my graphic novel. It's like sometimes all you need to do is, or sometimes that push you need is to just realize that you're not going to be around forever. So you might as well do what you feel like you were put here to do. Might as well stop putting off all the dream projects, the dreams and goals. But yeah, like, so she's about 50 now, and boy, she really sounds just like her other albums. It I was impressed. Like, even in the interview I was listening to, she just sounds like such a like if you told me that woman was 50, I and I didn't know any better, I would have been surprised. She doesn't. You know, how old is 50? But I mean, she just sounds. And in that music, I was just really impressed. I guess she's going to be putting out a bunch of. I had to kind of dig a little for her, just a tiny bit, but for any information. And she's got a Twitter. Let me see. She's got a new Twitter account that I just started following. Let me see. It's Betty Boo Mania. Let me see if I can, because I was scrolling back through it, and yeah, it's only been just over a month since she started this Twitter account. It's all about new music coming, new music coming. It's exciting. But yeah, I was hearing that she's going to be releasing a few more singles, and then she said she's got a couple albums in the works. So that is fun news for the likes of me. Let's see, his flag is back here. Throw. Okay. Betty Boo. I want to play the new single, but I don't think that would be good for my YouTube channel. But yeah, that's been the highlight of my day so far. Just finding out she's making new music. Oh man, he looks so skinny here. More, I don't know. I'm not too bent out of shape about it. Let's see. It looks like she has a new. Well, I don't know if it's new, but she's got an Instagram page too. I'm just trying to see if there's like a website or something to go to. There's like a bunch of links on her this Instagram I see, which is BooMania1. Oh. I'm just excited because I had never heard of her, and it was just a surprise find at the thrift store that this little tape, um, like about 12 years ago or 11 years ago, and it was like as soon as I discovered her music, it was like that was all there was. I mean, she's just got the 2 albums, and now 30 years later, she's making new stuff. It's good news. I'm happy. Okay. Okay. I'm almost done with this cup of tea. I'm gonna go hit the button to heat up warm water. Okay. Yeah, so yesterday I spent most of the day at my parents' house. I was hanging out with my dad and watching TV, and then I was helping him finish fixing their master bathroom. He's he was varnishing and hanging a door, and then my mom got home from Starved Rock, where she was with my aunt for I want to say at least I was going to say at least the weekend, but it's still the weekend. But I think she was out there for about a week. She was supposed to come today, so it threw me off. She was supposed to come back today. But that was because they were going to wait for someone to come out. But I guess they came out early, so... And we had lunch. Then after that, I came here and inked the page, and then went back out to hang out with my brothers and sisters. We were just playing music and playing video games and drinking and having a good time. Oh man, my nephew, my 5-year-old nephew, he was playing me in Mario Kart, and I tried to put it on the easiest setting, so it would be a little easy for him. And also I'm pretty terrible at video games, so it wasn't exactly not for myself. But I put it on the easiest setting, and then the first race I came in first place, which I was pretty happy with, because I feel like I never come in first place anymore when I play stuff like that. And then so it was a tournament of 4 races, right? And the second race, I came in first place. I was like, okay, now I'm leaning into this because I want to get like a perfect tournament in. And my nephew, my 5-year-old nephew, the first race, he came in like 12th, which is last place. He came in last place, and he's like, did I win? I was like, well, I mean, I don't know why, but like in the rankings, like it showed a number one. It showed 1 through 12, and I was on the top. He was on the bottom, and there was some like little statistic on the other end. And I was like, well, you have a one there. I don't know what that is, but you got that. And I was like, but I don't know. I was just trying to like not lie to him, but encourage him. I don't know. I don't remember what I said though. Uh, what else happened? Oh, and then in the second one, he did better. Um, like I think he came in ninth place in the second race. I was like, oh man, you did better that time. Like you're look, you're way up here now. And then the the third race, so I was playing as, I don't even know what, Bowser. I was playing as Bowser, and he was playing as Mario. And then Wendy Koopa kept almost beating me in those first two races that I won. And then in the third one, she beat me. I think I came in third on that third race. But my nephew, I think he had moved up again. He was like seventh or something. So I was like, dang, you're getting better each race, and I just came in third place, so I'm moving down. And then the fourth race happened, and I ended up coming in fifth. I got my butt beat on the fifth one, or on the fourth race. I got fifth place, but my nephew came in first. I was so proud of him because I was trying my hardest. I wasn't trying to go easy on him there. I wanted to win, but I was so proud of him. He came in first place, and he was telling everyone, "I beat Uncle Rhino. I beat Uncle Rhino." So that was fun. Let's see. I was trying to sell people on this Jim Beam vanilla, but nobody was having it. Nobody liked it. I think it's really good. It's like candy. It's a little too sweet, maybe. That's why my brother didn't like it. And then my sister tried a sip, and she didn't like it because it was too burny. I was like, come on, as far as whiskey goes, it's not very burny at all. But, to each his own. I'm gonna go get that tea. I gotta get rid of this old tea bag first. I've got the new one right here. Okay. As I was pouring that, as I was getting to the top, I was like, "Whoa, easy does it." Last time I poured a cup, my last cup I poured, I kept spilling on myself and scalding my hand. Not scalding, but you know what I mean. It's like, why won't I stop pouring boiling hot water on myself? It was like I spilled some on my hand, and then I was trying to wipe up what I had spilled, and then I spilled more on my hand. Here we go. Oh, look. All the bots are here. Thanks for dropping in, fake folks. YouTube always does those messages. Those always get those bot messages from YouTube. So we did Whirly Ball the other day, which was really fun. Where you're like tossing balls at a backboard with like little lacrosse scoops while riding in bumper cars and bumping into everybody. That's always fun. Trying to think. What else is going on these days? That I haven't already talked about. I don't know. Ooh, I heard February 2nd, new South Park is coming out. I like South Park. But I was thinking that they might just be doing specials anymore. Because I know they signed some deal where it was like they signed a deal for like to do like a bunch more specials and movies, and I don't know about seasons, but I remember it was like a whole bunch of movies and specials. And they just did the 2-part COVID special or post-COVID special where all the kids are adults in the future. It's just the normal speaking voices of the Matt Stone and Trey Parker, the normal voices that they use before they like pitch them up for the kids. So I didn't know if we were going to be getting another season this like anytime soon, but I guess so. Let me see. So, oh, come on. South Park creators signed massive new $900 million deal with Viacom CBS. $900 million? Do you remember? Do you remember when South Park first started and it was not cardboard. It was construction paper cutouts in like the first season. Can you imagine that they'd be on like that crummy looking show would be on season 25 and sign a $900 million deal with Viacom? I remember, I think that came out when I was in 3rd grade, maybe 2nd. Pretty sure the movie came out when I was in 4th grade. I remember I had a friend named Kim who was telling us that he'd seen it in theaters. I was like, no way. Your parents didn't let you see that in theaters. But I guess they did. Yeah, he was telling us all about it. And then I remember I went and, or like when I finally saw it, I was like, man, he was right. Because he'd been telling us about it. It's like when I was growing up, I had a bunch of friends who weren't allowed to watch The Simpsons. And then South Park came out, and like a bunch of people were definitely not allowed to. Suddenly, The Simpsons seemed tame. And, you know, I never really understood when people couldn't watch The Simpsons because it was kind of wholesome in a lot of ways. I don't know. When I watch it now, it certainly seems wholesome. For I don't know about all the time, but um, it's got a lot of like heartwarming stuff in there, and it's certainly no South Park. But yeah, one of my best friends was not allowed to watch it. Um, okay, so yesterday I was talking about all this stuff that I liked in the '90s, and then after the show ended, I was like, "What about?" I'm always talking about the dang '90s. What about the aughts, like after the year 2000? Um, what was I into then? Um, I was trying to rack my brain for what I was into then. I might use a pen for that. Um, so I remember when I was in middle school, I was really into Blink 182. Um, I was really into the band Local H. What else? That's about when Invader Zim came out, and then I found out about Johnny the Homicidal Maniac, and I got really into Jonan Vasquez's comics. And those were the first comics I ever read. And I was starting to work on a comic book called The Frightening Niz, about this guy who was kind of going insane. It was very Johnny the Homicidal Maniac inspired, though he wasn't going around killing. My characters weren't going around killing people, but it was just goofy comedy and set around like mentally disturbed people. And This guy was like kind of becoming insane and not fully aware of it, I think. And he was obsessed with this. I guess there was a kid who would stand on his lawn and never just stare at his house and never say anything. And I forget. I don't know. It wasn't a good story. I was in middle school, but I had started drawing it, and when I remember the kid was slowly turning into a monster, and I was really excited about that story for a long time. But eventually, I just stopped working on it because it was kind of very derivative of Johnny the Homicidal Maniac. But that was like the only comics I knew. Johnny the Homicidal Maniac, Squee, and I Feel Sick. Those are Joan Vasquez's books. I really like I Feel Sick, which was it was, I guess he was trying to do it in one issue, but then he just did 2 issues of it, and it's a full color comic, and it centers around this girl Debbie, who was in the second Johnny the Homicidal Maniac book, and it kind of she so in Johnny the Homicidal Maniac she has a terrible first date with Johnny, who tries to kill her to immortalize the moment because they were having such a great date, and then it just goes awry because he's trying to kill her. And then in I Feel Sick, you kind of get a glimpse of all these dates that she's been on where it almost seems like she's cursed because they go like phenomenally bad. Oh, I think it's earlier in that same book. She's in this like little, like, so in Johnny the Homicidal Maniac, there was always this 4-page comic in the middle called Meanwhile, and it was always like non-related stories. And in that second Johnny the Homicidal Maniac, it's actually not tremendously unrelated because we see Debbie on a different date. This is beforehand, and I don't remember when we see Johnny and Debbie on a date, if it's the same book or not. But I know it's in the second book for the Meanwhile where we see Debbie first, and she's on a date with some guy who is realizing it's kind of centered on him. He's realizing he's got poop in his pants, and he's freaking out and trying to play it cool. And then he just runs out of the restaurant screaming, "Someone put poop in my pants!" And then the next time we see Debbie, she's on a date with Johnny, and he's trying to kill her at the end, but she kicks his butt and gets away. But I really like I Feel Sick. It's like all his comics are in black and white, but I Feel Sick is in full color. I really wish he did that more. And that was about the time he was. I think he was putting that together about the time he was working on Invader Zim. Anyway, what else did I like in the aughts? What was I into then? I think it was 2004. I checked out Scrubs. Pretty sure it was the 4th season, which would have been in 2004. I checked out Scrubs, and that became one of my favorite shows. Also, in 2001, there's a lot of overlap in the actors on a cartoon on MTV called Clone High. So Bill Lawrence, the creator of Scrubs, he was involved in that. And it was right around this time Scrubs was starting as well. And but Clone High was so good. There's 13 episodes of it. It's getting a reboot. I mean, what isn't? But Clone High, hysterically funny. 13 episodes about a bunch of clones of famous dead people. So it stars. It's a cartoon. I like the style of the. I like the style of the characters. But what was I gonna say? Oh, so it stars Abraham Lincoln, Gandhi, Cleopatra, John F. Kennedy, and Joan of Arc. They're all the main characters. And Joan of Arc has a crush on Abraham Lincoln. But he's oblivious to it, and he's got a huge crush on Cleopatra. And it's like a big dramatic soap opera, but it's stupid funny. It's trying to be like all those like Party of Five shows and what else? All those like teen drama soap opera-y things from the 90s. It was like making fun of them a lot. I think that's too much detail for right there. I might wipe that all out. Also, it's not drawn very well. But Clone High, me and my sister and her friend, who is always hysterically funny and was the person that introduced me to Johnny the Homicidal Maniac. Because we all liked, or me and her, we both liked Invader Zim a lot. And she's like, that guy did comics, right? He did a comic called Johnny the Homicidal Maniac. I was like, cool, I will check that out. And I did. But she was there. Her name was Katie. When we remember, me and my sister Kaylee and her friend Katie, we were all in my parents' basement and we turned on the TV and we were flipping through channels for like a minute, and then all of a sudden we stop because we see something bright and colorful, and we're immediately like captivated with what we see because it's Marilyn Manson singing about the food pyramid. There's a cartoon of Marilyn Manson singing about the food pyramid, and we were like hysterical. Um, and that the rest is history. We were all in love with that show from then on, and that's also how me and my buddy discovered the Whitest Kids You Know. A few years later, we just him, my friend Denise at the time, and so Tyler, Denise, and I, we were we were in my parents' basement in the next house that they lived in, and we put on the TV, just started flipping through channels, and we pause, and there's this guy strumming a guitar, and he's surrounded by a bunch of kids, and he starts singing about how, like, if you don't like your dad, you can frame him and get a new daddy. You can like call the police and tell them that he's doing terrible things to you, and they'll take him away, and then you can get a new daddy. And then yeah, The Whitest Kids You Know, so funny. And poor Trevor Moore, the main guy of that comedy troupe, he died last year, or maybe 2020, and he was only 41, and he had a young child. He like fell off a balcony or something and broke his neck or something like that. I don't know. But that was tragic because I think he was just about to start all kinds of new stuff. He had like some kind of online show that he was doing, but then they were, I don't know, I think they were starting to move forward on doing new shows and movies and stuff. And he was Whitest Kids You Know was just so good. There was a lot of dumb juvenile humor in it, but it was excellent. It was hysterical. Trying to think of other skits from Whitest Kids You Know, because it was just a sketch comedy show. Every once in a while they did songs like that. Oh, there's a great one like, you can find these all on YouTube too, but there's there's one called Kid Beer, where there's one episode actually where they they bring back this idea like 3 times throughout the episode. So like at one point in the middle of the show, they do a commercial for Kid Beer, beer for kids, and it shows these kids drinking beer, and then and it's all funny and everything. And then later in the episode, there's a commercial from the makers of kid beer, baby beer. And it's like babies drinking beer. And then even later in the episode, they do a commercial for what do they call it? Prenatal beer or something like that. It's like a baby in the womb drinking beer and going like, whoa. I don't know. I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I think one of the other first skits we ever saw was the it's like Lincoln, President Lincoln, at the theater seeing Our American. No, he's not even seeing Our American Cousin. He's seeing a play of Hamlet, and in Hamlet, the actors on stage, they're talking about vampires the whole time. And then somebody starts heckling. Oh no. So Lincoln is in the balcony, right? And he starts heckling a guy down below on the floor of the audience of the play. And he's just like, "Hey, fatty, hey," like he's not even fat. He's like, just I don't know, just heckling the crap out of this guy in the audience. And then it's just a big, like, the guy's getting super annoyed. Oh, because he's just talking so loud in the play. And then the guy in the audience, he starts like going, "Mr. President, do you mind? Like, I'm trying to enjoy this show. We're trying to watch this show, and you're just up there talking very loudly and disrupting it." And then he starts like coming at him with all these insults and stuff, and just like being real terribly obnoxious. And then finally, the guy in the audience, he goes up there and starts, apparently, like, it's off screen, but I guess he's hitting him in the butt with a hammer to death. And that's how Lincoln was really assassinated. I guess. It's just, like I said, just super dumb, juvenile humor, but hysterical. They did 5 seasons of that show. Oh, there's another sketch where this there's like a Hollywood board meeting or something where they're trying to like think of ideas for the next big movie, and they're shooting out. I think they're just like, they don't sound like they're having any ideas, right? And then all of a sudden, this guy Trevor Moore, he bursts into the room like real like panicky, like he had to sneak in or something, like get past security and like get into the room. And he's like, he's like, guys, I got a really good movie idea, and they're like, call security, and then he's like, no, wait, and he just starts pitching like some like some typical. It was like some like it's like a kid pitching movies, like a like there's these dinosaurs, right? But then they do this and this and this, and he's like going through like this pitch to them, and it's got like dinosaurs and aliens, and like the dinosaurs are aliens, and then there's a machine gun and blah blah blah. Yeah, I don't know. He's just like going through all these ideas, and then they're like, wait, tell us more. And then he's like, okay, and then there's this other movie idea I've got where Cedric the Entertainer's there, and he's got this funny hat, and then, I don't know, he's just like firing off like movie ideas like that, and they're like the people in the boardroom are like going like, oh, of course, and like they're like getting all into it. I love this idea more, and I don't know, it's really funny. You got if you're not familiar with Whitest Kids, you know, I think you might like them. But I know it's the kind of stuff that someone like my mom would be like, psh, I can't watch that. She gets really annoyed with juvenile humor. Which I guess I can too, but I always thought they were like really, really funny. And then what else? What other stuff? What else was going on 20 years ago? I'm gonna pull this back a little bit so it's easier to get it on camera. That's when I discovered Betty Boo. Was in about, well, that was 2011, I said. See, I feel like that was right after high school, but it was a little it was years after high school. It was when I was going to college, when I was going to art school, I should say. So I went to community college for a while first, and then I went to art school. Let's see. What else was I really excited about in the aughts? That's when Community started, 2009. I really loved, especially that first season of Community. Oh, I know something. Pushing Daisies. Pushing Daisies was a really good show that I liked. By Brian Fuller, which was kind of like this. It was kind of like a modern fairy tale, and it was real bright and colorful, and but it was live action, and this guy, he's a pie maker, and he found out when he was a child, his dog Digby gets hit by a car or something when he was a child, and he finds out that when he touches it, he brings his dog back to life. So it's kind of like he has this magic power where he can bring dead things back to life. But then later that day, I forget what happens, but something happens to his mother, and she drops dead. And so he goes up to her, and he touches her, and brings her back to life. And then he's, that night she kisses him goodnight, but because she touched him a second time, she dies again forever, and he can't bring her back to life again. So then we cut to modern Ned the pie maker, and he still has his dog, but he doesn't he won't touch his dog, because if he touches his dog, the dog will be dead again forever. And there was this girl who he had a crush on as a child that had like in the first episode, you are introduced to this character this way, where he finds out about this girl. It's been a while since I saw the first episode, so I might not tell it exactly properly, but this girl, he finds out has died, that he had a crush on, so he wants to bring her back to life. Or it's some kind of case where he ends up working with this PI on the side, where he talks to dead people for a minute, then hits them again, and he like finds out about their case, or he finds out firsthand like how they died, and then reveals, then he tells the details to the PI, and then they solve the case and get rewards from the people that put them on the case, and they take this case for his boyhood crush, and he decides, after he finds out who killed her, he decides he's not going to touch her again so she can stay alive. But it becomes this big romance, but they can never touch. And it's a really beautiful show. I love Brian Fuller, the creator of that show, who also did another show that I discovered in around the time I was watching that show, called Wonder Falls, where that one's about a girl who works at a Niagara Falls souvenir shop, and just one day, inanimate animal characters, like someone has a sweater with a duck on it, or you have like a wooden toy of a cow or something on your desk. These like inanimate animals would like talk to her, but nobody else could hear it, and they would just tell her what to do, and they would kind of like not let up until she would do what they said. And it seemed to be like do it would like kind of it seemed like it was like an orchestrated. I don't know. I don't know how to put it, but things would like work out properly if she did what they said. But it was always like conflicting with what she wanted to do and stuff like that. It was a really that is one of my favorite shows. There's only 13 episodes of that too. Wonder Falls, and Lee Pace, who plays Ned the Pie Maker in Pushing Daisies, he is Jay Tyler's brother. Jay being the girl main character of Wonder Falls. Lee Pace also plays her older brother, and there's a lot of like themes of theology. Like it doesn't get into religion so much, but there's like a lot of themes of like theology and like Native American mysticism and stuff like that, like kind of running through the show as kind of like a stylistic thing. And I also, it's really funny, and I don't know, I like that. That's one of my favorite shows. And Brian Fuller also created another one called Dead Like Me, about this girl who gets killed by a toilet seat or something from I forget, some kind of like aircraft, loses a toilet seat. I don't know, but she gets killed by a toilet seat, and she is enlisted to become a Grim Reaper, and so her and all the main characters, they're all Grim Reapers, and they take the soul from people before they before they die, to spare them the pain and suffering of being killed. But it's always like all the deaths on the show are always like real kind of like crazy deaths. I don't know. But Mandy Patinkin's in that show. It's also a really good one that I like. They did 2 seasons and then like a movie. The movie I didn't really like when I finally saw it. It was like they should have just left it at the 2 seasons. But because it was like 2 seasons, then it got canceled, I think, and then they brought it back for the movie. But I forget now, but I think everybody wasn't back. Yeah, I think the main like guy wasn't back for the movie. I don't know, whatever. Oh, I think Mandy Patinkin wasn't back for the movie. And he was like one of the best characters on the show. But yeah. Dead Like Me, Wonder Falls, Pushing Daisies, they are all great shows. I'd say Pushing Daisies was kind of like getting into. They did 2 seasons of that show before that got canceled, and they didn't quite get to wrap it up, but they tried to tie it up a little bit in the last episode. At the end of the last episode, And it's been teased like over the years that it would come back as a comic book. It would come back as a Broadway musical and wrap up the story. And like, I don't know. There was always like some rumor that Brian Fuller was going to come back and do something to finish it, but he never did. And like he's talked about doing a movie. He's talked about doing a final set of episodes, but it's been, I think it was canceled in 2007. So it's been some time, but it was a really good show. And then Wonder Falls was canceled after one season. There's only 13 episodes, but I always felt where it ended was satisfying enough for me. And Dead Like Me, it seemed like it was going somewhere good and interesting, but when it finally came back with that movie, I was like, I was almost like, why bother doing this if you're not going to like wrap up the stuff you started, and if you can't get the best characters on the show? I don't know. I wasn't satisfied by that movie. Let's see, what else was I getting into? Was it all movies and TV shows for me? I don't even think I've talked about any movies. But is that the only thing I was occupying myself with? Let me think. Um, what artist was I into then? I'm trying to think. That's when I really got into They Might Be Giants in 2005. And let's see, what's on my shelf? What's on my bookshelf? I was wondering if there were any comics that I was getting into. I feel like I was always looking for comics to get into after I discovered Jonan Vasquez. But I don't know if I really got into anything. Hmm. I don't know. I remember I really got a kick out of Shaun of the Dead, and someone had bought me a little statuette of Shaun for my birthday. I still have that displayed somewhere in my house, where I never really see it. It's in a china cabinet that yeah, I never really see it, but it's there. Um, what did I get up to in that time? Man, see, this is why I need my like Tyler, my roommate, to come onto this show. Everyone has a better memory than me. My brain falls out of my head at the drop of a hat. I'm trying to remember. I remember I really liked the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. We went to a drive-in movie theater and saw, I think it was the second one. Um, Maybe the third one. I never saw the fourth one, which I also in the aughts, the Harry Potter books and movies were coming out. Still, I have read all the Harry Potter books. I've seen all the Harry Potter movies. I was into them that much. Um, I was never like a rabid fan like a lot of people still are today, including my one of my roommates, my buddy's fiance, Lindsay. What else? What else? Surely, I swear, there's tons of stuff it's just eluding me at the moment that I could talk about. It's like I wasn't there. I don't know my own life. But me and Tyler, my roommate, we always used to hang out at our friend Sam's house. She was just a friend of ours. Her and her sister really were both our friends, and that was kind of like our hub hangout spot, was their house, and we would stay there real late all the time, and then afterwards, me and Tyler would continue hanging out, and we would just go to the 24-hour like grocery store, just wander around, and then we'd like hang out in the car and talk till like 3 in the morning or something. Trying to think of like of any stories of hanging out with my friends back in high school, and I've got nothing. Although I know plenty of things happened. I wasn't on drugs. I don't know why I can't remember any good stories at the moment. Well, I do. I have a profoundly bad memory. It's like selectively bad. It's mostly bad when I'm trying to communicate with people. It's bad strictly to embarrass me. No, I'm just kidding. But this guy's like, I'm telling. I think I'm just gonna put this to black. There's not much black on this page, and that kind of helps weigh it down usually. Otherwise, everything kind of looks very gray. Kind of just, it's like your eye kind of has nowhere to go, or nowhere. Your eye isn't directed around the page. I just kind of like to lay some black in here and there. So I think I want to leave this like this background. I don't think I want to put that to black. I was thinking about that, but I think I'm going to leave it white. I think I'd like to make it a red or something. That panel. I finished this line. I do remember one time, like it, it's like a bunch of us, we're just teens with nothing to do at night, and my roommate Tyler, he was always the one driving us around. 'Cause he had a car. I didn't have a car. I didn't get my license till I was 20. So he would always drive us around. And one night we were just like aimless, had nothing to do, and he would. There's this one spot where it was like there's a hill in the road, like it would go up, then there were train tracks, and then the road would go down, right? And he would hit the gas going up the hill over the train tracks, and we'd like get the tiniest bit, and he had kind of like a trashy car, so it's like he didn't mind beating it up a little bit, I guess. Um, it had a big rusty X carved into one of I think it was the driver's side door. Um, and so you'd hit the gas, get the tiniest bit of air, and then it would come crashing down, and you just hear everything like going like rattling around in his trunk, and he would we were just like circling the block and doing it over and over again. That was a fun night. Um, let's see. I'm gonna do more line weight stuff. I'll make some of these drawings look a little more deliberate. They look too timid. Um, in the aughts has to be where I yeah, it is where I first we first kind of discovered Crash Bandicoot, which is like it's big in our family. We all really loved that game. I kind of like his line weight. I think I'm going to touch him up a little. Because he's kind of receded into this elevator. I think that kind of works. Okay, I think I'm gonna do it on this one. Oh, in the first couple of years of my teens, yeah, when I was 13, 14, when I was in middle school, I was in karate. I took karate classes. I was doing that for a long time. I mean, 2 years. I was doing that for 2 years. I got up to a blue belt. So it was, and then we moved. So otherwise I would have gone till I got my black belt. It wasn't a great reason to not keep up with it, but it was, I don't know. I've never heard of Kyokushin beyond that class, so I don't know if it would have been accessible anywhere else. I don't know. But it was white belt, yellow, orange, green. Oh, wait. White, yellow, orange, purple, green, blue, and then I only had red, brown, black ahead of me. So in 2 years, I got pretty far, I guess. Because that's how many belts out of the 9. White, yellow, orange, purple, green, blue, and red, brown, black. Yeah. So I was on my 6th belt, and I was it was like sometimes if you were ready, if you moved up a bit, but not quite to a new belt, you'd get a stripe on your belt. And I think it was usually like after the 2nd stripe, you were ready. Like by the end of that, if you were going to move up, you would move on to the next belt. And I was a 2nd stripe blue belt. Okay, I think I'm done with this page, honestly. I thought I didn't want to do anything here. I'm going to put just a shadow, an angle of a shadow over here on this wall. So there's that. I think I'm gonna... Oh, I was kind of trying to do this. Earlier. We'll drop shadow under that thing. And yeah, I'll do this corner. Just something to get a little more like little places for your eyes to land. Okay, I think I'm gonna call that a page. And I might do another one today. But I'll have to see. 'Cause, I've got other stuff to do today. But otherwise, I'll be back tomorrow. So be there or be square. I don't know what I'm saying. Goodbye, everybody. I think you're neat. And that's the Ryan guarantee.